Look at
Alaska.
Alaska Thunderfuck.
Alaska Thunderfuck. Now, I don't know that there's any winner who would say this, because she'd be stupid to say it. But, I mean, Alaska totally could have won. She totally could have won, and I could have done All Stars.
Right.
Because Alaska had so much to offer, and she still does, and she's done such good stuff from the moment our season ended. She's built herself up to where she is now.
Yeah.
She's one of the top queens in the game, you know?
Totally.
And I have only the best feelings for Alaska. We do have this tendency of sleeping with the same guys.
Oh, really?
Like a week or 2 weeks apart.
Oh, really?
You know, oh God, I was in Australia. It was like my second day in Australia, and I brought this boy home who kind of looked like a grown-up version of James and the Giant Peach.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how else to explain it. But we're in bed, and he's scrolling through his phone, and he goes, oh, look at these pictures. And it's him in Alaska in bed, too.
Oh, my God.
And so I get on the phone, I'm like, Alaska! Did you fuck James and the Giant Peach last week? But she's one of my favorite people to tour with. We literally annoy everyone around us. For for years now, we get together in a dressing room and we just go off. It's like hours and hours of Betty Davis impressions, followed by hours and hours of us. We do this. We do this terrible character of the most exotic, like a baroness who's gone bankrupt. So she's like, darling, I have to do the show tonight. I know you're going to pay me $1,000 for 2 songs, but I'm going to do 4 songs, so I'd like $2,000 cash because some people are looking for me. You know, no one else finds it funny, but we'll do it for hours.
I like it. Did you like her reference to you in All Stars? And she's like, oh, us versus a lovable weirdo. You know how that turned out.
Yeah. I mean, she's just such a professional. I mean, she's a trained actor. She's got an amazing musicality. Like, she's just got a wonderful sense of self. And so there's no tea, no shade. Just love that bitch.
Well,
love that
the greatest.
bitch.
I like that. Look at her.
Now, Detox is another queen I share a lot of trade with. I got to tell you.
God, these race chasers are just getting you and marking you all
I'm a
off the
racer
list.
chaser.
Right,
you
yeah,
know?
you're a race chaser. There's nothing wrong with that.
I had this really, I had this idea, oh, I'm not going to sleep around on the road. I'm not going to sleep with the fans. I'll only sleep with people who don't watch Drag Race.
Right.
That lasted for about 2 minutes. Raja was the one who said, they are star fuckers. They want to fuck a star. And that means you're a star if they want to fuck you. So let them fuck the fucking
wrong
star.
With that. There's nothing wrong with a VIP meet and greet in their pants. You know what I'm saying?
A VD VIP.
VDIP.
No, Detox and I, we met like a year before our season of Drag Race. And I had hosted the show, and I was a little boozy after the show, because, you know, you do your show, you do the meet and greet, then you have a few drinks with your sisters.
Totes.
You get a little boozy. And so I was still in Guiche. She was just there watching the show. She came up and introduced herself to me. I had no idea she was such a big deal down here in LA and in Florida and stuff. And she comes up and she introduces herself, and I go, do you do drag? And she goes, yeah, I do drag. And I go, do you do Cher? And she goes, no, I don't really do Cher. And I just go, you should do Cher. And then I turned and walked up.
Wow.
I have no idea what was in my water that night, but
Oh, bitch.
but we've become so close. I mean, she's absolutely obsessed with my best friend Kenny, who's in the studio.
Oh, yes.
She's obsessed with him.
And we can
She's
see
in love
why.
with him. So
They make a lovely couple.
Cool. Besides the fact that she's always trying to poach my my assistant, poach and prod.
Poach and prod and poke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best sense of humor. She fell off of my fire escape once and almost broke her ankle.
Ooh, bitch.
That's how we roll.
That's how you roll.
We
Big
jumping
time.
off of fire escapes.
Big fallings, bending trees.
You know what I mean, man?
Man, come on. Look at her.
I can't even finish it. I'm so sick of it. No. So, obviously. Have you ever been just like in a situation where you're so hungry for dick? Just like you're starved, you're about to faint because you're malnourished, you know. Well, if you're in a situation like that, who wouldn't fall in love with Ivy Winters?
Oh, right,
you
yes.
know?
So now I understand where you're coming from.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right, because you fell in love sort of on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a very affectionate person. I'm a very sexual person. So I'd be lying if I didn't think in the back of my head, like, I wonder if I'm going to get lucky while I film Drag Race. You know? And I didn't, but not for lack of trying.
Clandestine meetings in the hotel restroom in the lobby.
But Ivy has been such a great friend to me. She continued, I was in Ann Arbor doing a gig in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and she came out as a boy just to come backstage and hang out with me all night and drink my booze. But she is married now to a wonderful person who looks like her older brother. It's kind of sick. But no.
They're twinning, okay.
Yeah, no, they're twinning. But do you know the most amazing thing about Ivy is literally when she sees something, like if she goes, oh, I love this fan, I want this fan. She doesn't go out and buy that fan. She goes out and buys all of the materials to make the fan herself.
Wow.
Like not just her costume. She built a stage by herself. She learned how to build ventriloquist dummies.
Wow.
Just like on a whim. She's like, I think I want to build a ventriloquist dummy. And now she does taxidermy. She makes her own cheese.
Damn.
It's almost annoying how much she does because I'm a queen who does nothing.
She's crafty.
I do my makeup. And then everyone else glues things to me,
Right.
you know, and then I'm ready to go. And she's an amazing singer and performer.
How dare she?
How dare she have so many talents when so many people have so few?
Look at all.
Now, see.
BenDeLa.
Now, I may have gone on Drag Race first, and I may have won, but Ben has always been a mentor to me. Like, for me, when I met Ben and started doing shows with Ben, my drag went from being bar drag to being something that could go anywhere. Like, I learned how to take drag into the theatrical world, and I learned how to write my own shows and come up with my own content in the way that I do now by watching BenDeLaCreme do it, because she dominates Seattle, the Seattle scene. Like, it's BenDeLaCreme country, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just a visiting dignitary, but it's BenDeLaCreme country, because she's smart, she's funny, she's twisted, she's got her own dark tragedy to her, which I think the best comedy comes out of tragedy, you know? My favorite teacher at Cornish, where I went to college for acting school, Kira, she used to say, if you want to be a good comedian, start by having alcoholic parents.
Wow.
But, I mean, you just can't get better than BenDeLaCreme. I mean, of all the Drag Race girls that I know, I don't even think of her as one of my Drag Race friends, because she's just such a close personal friend. But I'm trying to think if there's anything cunty or anything.
You don't have to say anything cunty if there's something to be said.
She's nothing.
Well, there. I mean, like, sweetness is fine if that's all that's got.
She's OCD. She won't let anything get by her. You know? She's one of those people where you can make a little joke with a little bit of sass and a little bit of tea and a little bit of, you know, a little jab at her, and she'll go, 2 hours later. So what did you mean when you said? Like, I thought it was funny, but what exactly do you mean? I love that about her. She doesn't. She stands up for herself.
All right, I like that. Okay, we have time for one more.
Okey-dokey.
Look at her. Mother.
RuPaul.
Now, I think you may be, first of all, RuPaul knows your name, which cannot be said for everyone else. When she was on this show, she spoke about you very fondly, and she continues to really always speak about you with a lot of love.
Well, I mean, I just have, there's no way to express my gratitude to RuPaul, because she saw something in me that I knew was there. It needed a little coaxing out, you know, but she saw the potential to where I could go, and, you know, she gave me the key to open up the kingdom, you know, like, the best thing about Ru is her sense of humor. It's like everything can be funny, but she doesn't just laugh at anything. You have to actually say something funny.
Right, yeah.
You know, she's not one of those TV hosts that's just like, at every stupid joke.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But she's just so, like, how can you be that, like, gorgeous and that much of a supermodel, but then also know every reference to every movie that could possibly pertain to our culture?
Yeah.
You can't make a reference to something without her being able to counter back with another reference. And to hear her talk highly of me, I don't know what I did to deserve, like, her being in my corner the way she is, but it's a surreal thing. You know, like, when I was a kid, there was one drag queen. It was RuPaul. You know, like, she was in the Brady Bunch. She was on TV all the time. She was on Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yes.
Which I love that show. Melissa Joan Hart, if you're watching, I still believe in you.
I'm sure she's watching, and I'm sure she's glad to know that. Okay, final thoughts on RuPaul?
She's a goddess. She is a demigod sent from the Guardians of the Galaxy to teach us how to be fierce and to make this world a more glamorous place.
Oh.
I mean, she's politically aware. She picks and chooses her battles so that she's never running her mouth off on a topic that she doesn't know everything about. You know, she's as far as drag goes, she's class, professionalism personified.
Bloop. Very nice.